I wanted to do a full Murph today, but I decided not to. Instead I decided to do a quarter Murph, as I like to call them. Basically you run the same distance, but you cut all of the reps in, not half, by 4. So you do 25, 50, 75 instead of 100, 200, 300. I mostly decided to do this because I wasn't feeling 100% and I wanted to get a quick workout in because I was heading to work as well. So I didn't have the time to do full Murph and I was feeling somewhat, not bad, but I didn't feel 100% either. But I do think that these quarter Murphs can be really beneficial, especially for me as a future firefighter. Because I'm mostly training for the Murph now, the full Murph, but the full Murph is a long event. It's roughly an hour. My PB is 55 minutes, something I'm pretty sure of. And you can't work that hard during 55 minutes. So you have to pace yourself. Maybe you need to stay in zone 4 at maximum. That's pretty reasonable to stay in zone 4, so for me around 170 BPM for an hour. That's exhausting, that's heavy, but it's reasonable. I can't go up to like 95% of my heart rate and stay up there. I'm going to burn out. But if you shorten the training session, let's say to a 20-25 minutes, then you might be able to push yourself more, keep a higher heart rate, and get those benefits as well. And that's exactly what I'm doing with these quarter Murphs. Since they're a lot shorter, I can push myself more, and I don't need to reserve any of my energy. Just doing 25 pull-ups, 50 push-ups, and 75 squats. I wouldn't say it's easy, but you don't really need a lot of power in the reserve to do it. You can go all out, or just go hammer and balls and push through it. And that's also one very important factor that you need to be able to manage in your training. Sometimes you need to go balls to the walls for a shorter period, and sometimes you need to run a marathon. Maybe not a full marathon, but you get my point. And especially for me as a firefighter, or a future firefighter, because at least here in Sweden, we have these physicalities tests that we need to pass, and most of them is like this course that you have to complete certain things, like drag a heavy doll, for example, or carry some heavy weights, or pull up, drag in the hose, the water hose. And stuff like that, and that usually takes around 20 minutes. So that is in the same category as the quarter Murph. If I want to be as specific as possible, I should actually do the quarter Murphs instead, because they are more similar to the firefighting courses that I need to compete in. Because it's pretty difficult to actually get your foot into the firefighting business here in Sweden. Let's say there are 10 people that's coming to the tests and are applying for the job. Maybe like 2 people are getting the job, and they are mostly looking at your personality and your physical capabilities, because you're assuming that the knowledge is roughly the same and you can always teach somebody how to do something, but you can't build somebody's muscle up quickly. If you lack the physical capabilities, you're out. So basically the whole test day it's pretty much a CrossFit event, and you need to win, or at least score very highly to have a good chance at getting the job. And I'm a fit guy, but I'm not fit enough to stand out of the other firefighters that are applying, because firefighters are a fit breed of people. Nobody's applying to the fire station without being well trained. So just being fit isn't enough. You need to be really fit, and that's why I'm focusing on these Murphs. But as I said, I think it's important for me as well to do this quarter Murph, so I learn how to push my body to the maximum in that shorter period. Because the full Murph is mostly about endurance, while the quarter Murphs is more about endurance as well, but it's more about pushing hard and being able to maintain that insane high heart rate for a long time and endure all of the pain. Because the quarter Murph is more painful, but for a shorter period. Well, the full Murph, it's also painful, but not as intense. But instead, it takes double the amount of time, basically, or even more. Anyways, that's my ramble about why I think the quarter Murphs are important. And I wouldn't spend too much time, if I were you, with doing half Murphs or other variations. I think the quarter Murph is a good place to be at, because then you have the long training with the full Murphs and you have the quick training with the quarter Murphs. You don't need something in between. You could if you want to, just to mix it up, but I don't think it's needed. Anyways, have a great time. Bye.